A very good evening. It is 9th of October 2025 and you are just in time for GBS News at 9. I'm Ibrahim Said and our sign language interpreter tonight is Alan Kiama. Remember here, as usual, every headline carries a story, every story carries a truth and every truth carries a voice. We have a lot lined up for you and on to our very first story. President William Ruto has been elected as chairperson of the COMESA regional bloc, taking over leadership as member states meet in Nairobi to chart Africa's economic future. The summit, held today at the Kenyatta International Convention Center, also named Zimbabwe's President Emmerson Mnangagwa as deputy chair. The COMESA summit kicked off today at Nairobi's KICC with a major leadership shift. Kenya's President William Ruto was elected chairperson of the regional bloc, deputized by Zimbabwe's Emmerson Mnangagwa.
It is my honor to announce the new bill of our wonderful organization, COMESA. Now, the leadership will be held by the Republic of Kenya. The new chairman of COMESA Authority is His Excellency Dr. Samuel William Ruto. The vice chairmanship will be held by the Republic of Zimbabwe under the leadership of His Excellency Emmerson Mnangagwa.
Ruto called for a deeper regional integration to unlock Africa's economic potential. He urged member states to remove trade barriers, harmonize policies, and invest in infrastructure to boost cross-border commerce.
Given the increasing competitiveness of the global economy, regional integration is no longer an option. Africa's relevance in the global marketplace will be determined by the depth and the speed of our integration. I wish to assure you, Excellencies, of my personal commitment and that of the government and people of Kenya to continue supporting COMESA, its agencies, and its institutions in advancing programs and initiatives that deepen our integration agenda.
The summit brought together heads of state, policymakers and business leaders to set a new course for regional growth and cooperation. Reporting for GBS TV, I'm Ibrahim Said. Still on the same, President William Ruto has urged COMESA member states to invest more in homegrown financial institutions to drive the continent's growth. Speaking during the 24th COMESA Heads of State and Government Summit in Nairobi, President Ruto said Africa must reduce its dependence on global financial system that he described as outdated and unfair to developing nations. He called on member countries to strengthen regional lenders such as the Trade and Development Bank, Afrexim Bank, and the African Finance Cooperating, saying that they hold the key to financing Africa's priorities. Susan Nganga has more.
President William Ruto is once again making the case for Africa's financial independence, this time at the 24th COMESA Heads of State and Government Summit held in Nairobi. Speaking before regional leaders, Ruto said Africa must wean itself off global financial systems that, in his words, were designed in a bygone era and continue to disadvantage developing nations.
As I noted in my recent address to the United Nations, the global financial system remains trapped in the architecture of a bygone era. Institutions such as IMF and World Bank conceived in the aftermath of the Second World War 80 years ago, continue to be dominated by wealthy nations, resulting in persistent inequities and limited voice for developing countries and poor nations.
The head of state is urging COMESA countries to channel more resources into regional institutions like the Trade and Development Bank and the African Finance Corporation. Bodies, he says, represents Africa's determinations to fund its own priorities.
In response, one of the most viable pathways for Africa and for regional economic blocs like COMESA is to strengthen our homegrown multilateral financial institutions such as Trade Development Bank, Afrexim Bank, Africa Finance Corporation, Shelter Afrique, Africa Re, and the Africa Trade and Investment Development Insurance and ZEP-RE. These institutions, ladies and gentlemen, embody our collective determination to mobilize African capital for African priorities.
Ruto revealed that Kenya is backing that call with action, having already invested $50 million in Afrexim Bank. The government is now committing an additional $100 million to boost its shareholding in the Trade and Development Bank.
Here in Kenya, we are backing our words with action. Having already committed $50 million as share capital to Afrexim Bank, we have just additionally invested $100 million to enhance our shareholding in Trade and Development Bank.
He noted that these African-led banks are already proving their value, offering long-term loans of up to 25 years with interest rates as low as 2% as stark contracts to traditional lenders.
These African-led banks are proving to be true partners in progress. Through our participation, Kenya can now access long-term facilities of up to 25 years at reasonable concessional interest rates, tangible proof that investing in our own institutions yields real and sustainable value.
The president, who officially assumed the chairmanship of COMESA during the summit, said the intra-African trade remains low, with the continent contributing only 3% to global trade. He called for deeper regional integration, stronger value chains, freer movement of people, and more open borders.
In Africa, we are only doing 14%. And that is why our contribution to global trade is only 3%, because we are not trading first and foremost with ourselves.
In his earnings statement, he pushed for what he called a new global financial order, one that treats developing countries equitably and reflects today's realities. Susan Nganga, GBS News.
And now we shift our focus to politics, where the November 27th by-elections are shaping up to be politically charged, with the tension flaring in multiple constituencies. In Malava, candidate clearance is complete, but controversy surrounds Kanu's Gideon Moi, who missed the IBC deadline amid claims of government interference.
The race to the November 27th by-election is heating up across the country, with political activity intensifying in key battlegrounds. In Malava, candidates have been cleared by the Independent Electoral and Boundary Commission, setting the stage for a competitive contest.
For me, I'm going outside there to seek for votes on a platform of peace, on a platform of obeying order as per the regulations, of which I'm also expecting from my competitors.
Now the journey towards fighting The journey towards liberating my people of Malava officially begins today, now that I have the certificate. I want to beg, I want to plead with my people of Malava to walk with me in this journey.
The change you are yearning for is here. The people of Malava, together with me, we will walk this journey together. I will not let you down. Kenya yetu ni moja, tushikane pamoja, Malava baada ya uchaguzi itabaki moja.
However, KANU party leader Gideon Moi failed to present himself for clearance before the 4 p.m. deadline, sparking speculation that he may have withdrawn from the race. Supporters of Moi held demonstration outside IBC offices alleging that government operatives blocked his clearance. No official statement has been issued by KANU.
We need calm, we need tranquility in order to facilitate citizens to exercise their constitutional rights and to vote freely without any harassment, without intimidation, without violence, and without improper influence or bribery.
Campaigns are gaining momentum as parties position themselves for the high-stake vote. The by-election, scheduled for November 27th, are expected to test party strength and voter sentiments ahead of the 2027 general election cycle. Reporting for GBS TV, I'm Ibrahim Said.
Elsewhere, the Senate has raised serious concerns over the growing number of ghost workers in Busia County. During a heated Senate machinery session held in Busia, senators questioned county officials over unexplained wage bills and inconsistencies in the payroll, leaving the county speaker visibly confused and struggling to explain the matter.
It was a day of reckoning for Busia County leadership as senators stand the heat on the officials over claims of ghost workers bleeding the county's payroll. According to the documents presented before the Senate, Busia County has been paying hundreds of workers whose identities and job descriptions remains unclear.
We were seeking for the breakdown of the 352,
it is not the breakdown. You are comparing like for like. In the previous year, the amount was 252 million.
True.
The next year, it was 358 million.
Yes.
Like for like, same factors. So if there was 100 million increase, it's either you have employed more or you have done creative accounting.
This was, thank you, Chair, we have not employed anybody.
When pressed to explain the figures, Busia County Speaker appeared visibly confused and able to reconcile payroll records with actual staff numbers, and his office having 12 drivers using 2 vehicles, raising concern among senators.
The problem that we have here, we had an overstaffing. The first, I think, assembly employed 150 people against a ceiling of 100. And that 100 or 150 people, all those people, they lacked requisite skills. That is the scenario we are in. Because, like, for example, I have 11 drivers with 2 vehicles.
The awkward moment drew murmurs in the chambers as senators demanded immediate accountability and transparency from the county leadership. The Senate Public Accounts Committee has directed the county administration to provide a verified staff list, including employment letters and payroll records, within a span of 14 days.
We've come to realize everything actually in devolved unit is not ideal. A typical example, like last year what happened, we had a budget. And we received a budget cut, I think was it 80-something million? 87 million. So under that circumstances, how do we pay those people, the suppliers? We just have to...
What does the law say about pending bills?
Fast charge.
Yes. So, if you are going to fuel your 2 cars and 11 drivers, but the first expenditure should be to take care of debt. Come to page 150 of your submissions, for example, just to demonstrate to you what your problem is. Because, fine, you've got pending bills owed to suppliers, you're killing local businesses because you're not paying them. You've got amounts owed to MCAs. Such a long list of money per diem to MCAs. These guys are going to impeach you, Speaker. They are going to impeach you. You've got a long schedule here of small per diems owed to MCS.
Yeah, I hope you're not inciting the MCS.
No, I'm just warning him of the danger ahead.
With mounting pressure from the Senate and public outrage growing, the Busia County leadership now faces a major test to clean up its payroll and restore public trust. Davis Karani for GBS News, Busia County.
And that story takes us for our very first break here. Do keep your feedback streaming into all our social media platform at GBS TV Africa, and our SMS line is 21144. We'll be right back.
Anza wiki yako kwa njia sahihi kwa GBS Jumatatu.
Niko nawe hadi mida ya saa 4 asubuhi. Kwanza niseme asante kwa kuzidi kufuatilia na kutazama vipindi vyetu ambavyo huwa tunakuandalia hapa ndani ya GBS TV Jumatatu. People are now seeing the money that have been given to church as a bribe.
Jiunge nasi kila Jumatatu asubuhi kuanzia saa 1:30.
Nimesikia mwenzangu akifanya hesabu hapo ya vile ambavyo miungano zitakuwa. Ruto is going to fail whether with Raila or without Raila.
Kuna mahali anakosea akisema ati Raila na Ruto wataungana. Hakuna kuungana iko hapo, ndugu yangu, aje nikwambie ukweli.
Hadithi za kunoga.
Ukiangalia Wakenya, wananchi wa Kenya, pia hao maisha yao imedhulumiwa kwa kuongezwa kwa taxes, ziko very high taxes. So the statement by Rigathi Gachagua is just statement ya kumcheck that we can see you you can see between the lines.
Na mazungumzo yenye nguvu ya kukuletea utulivu kwa wiki yako.
Ati Raila ataingia UDA hapo.
Hiyo ni ndoto. Mimi yote nasema hawezi, sababu nasema hivi mheshimiwa, ikiwa Raila
itakuwa, mimi naona itakuwa
hadi saa 4 za asubuhi kwa majadiliano ya kusisimua.
Mheshimiwa Rais William Samoei Ruto ajue ya kwamba sasa yeye ni president wa Kenya. Sio mambo ya kufanyia wana Kenya mzaha. Kupoteza biashara kwa siku moja katika CPD, nafikiria ni jambo ambalo ni rais.
Usikose, ingia kwenye GBS TV. Anza Jumatatu yako kwa kusudi.
If the government does not spend, my brother, hakuna maendeleo inaonekana, hakuna barabara zinatengenezwa, hakuna dawa kwa hospitali, my friend, economies will not grow.
Tuonane panapo majaliwa ya Mwenyezi Mungu.
GBS Jumatatu, palipo mjadala wa leo na mwelekeo wa kesho.
Hello kids. Did you know a year has 31,557,600 seconds? Why do you think so? Exactly. There are 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, 24 hours in a day, and 365 in a year. We count the extra 0.25 because of leap year. When you multiply all these numbers together, you get a huge number of seconds. That's why a year feels long, but time still flies when you are having fun. Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back to GBS News at 9. And now, the Kenya National Union of Teachers, NAT, Central Region Branch has rejected the proposal by KUPPET to relocate junior secondary school teachers to secondary institutions. NAT says the move is meant to weaken its membership since most of JSS teachers are currently under its union. The union also accused the Teachers Service Commission of transferring JSS teachers to KUPPET without their consent and has threatened legal action if the trend continues. Meanwhile, KUPPET maintains that JSS learners should be domiciled in secondary school, arguing that primary institutions lack the facilities needed for competency-based education.
Solidarity! Power! Solidarity! Yes, solidarity! Forever!
We,
the councillors of the Central NAT Regional Council demand the following immediately. Number one, that Kuppet officials stop incitement of junior school teachers and stop further funding of their local and disorganized demonstrations. Number two, that Kuppet officials stop further demeaning and maligning of the heads of institutions of primary and junior schools. That the CS for Education and other legislative bodies move with speed to debate the provisions of sessional paper number 10 of 2024 and sessional paper number 1 of 2025 with a view of establishing comprehensive schools under one head of institution. By doing this, it will help to close the discussion and allow teachers to deliver the CBE to our learners.
Was taking those students to another school, it meant that the parents had to pay more money in both pocket money, transport, food, boarding, and so on. So it means if we do that, parents will have 6 years to pay for school fees in secondary school rather, because of these 3 years and the 3 years in senior school. So we feel, as much as unions may have their interest, the most important person in this discussion
112 young women from across Africa have been shortlisted to take part in 30-hour hackathon-themed Future-Proofing Africa, Innovation at the Intersection of Fintech, Cybersecurity and AI. The Pan-African competition, organized by Absa Bank Kenya in partnership with the Girl Code, will run simultaneously across 7 cities, including Nairobi, Johannesburg, Cape Town and Durban, Kampala, Gaborone and Dar es Salaam. Participants will develop an AI-driven digital financial solution that promotes inclusion, innovation and cybersecurity, aligning with national priorities such as youth empowerment and digital entrepreneurship. The continent winner will take home grand prize of $5,500. Judges for the Nairobi edition include Mudhoni Kanyana of MK Africa, Women in Tech Kenya Country Manager Lucy Mbuthia, and Absa Bank Kenya Executive Mumbi Kihindo and Julius Kamau.
We are really excited to be hosting the Absa Girl Code Women in Tech Hackathon this weekend. We had about nearly 500 women, young women expressing interest in this hackathon, out of which we've gone through a rigorous process and selected the top 100. This top 100 will be going at specific challenges that the financial sector and the Kenyan economy at large faces. If you think about things like cybersecurity, fraud busting and prevention, how we may use technology to deal with some of the climate change issues that we face. And it's a really exciting opportunities for these young women to come. They've got the mentorship of the bank leadership, with the people who lead our technology functions, people who lead our business functions, our human resource functions. They gather together 30-hour, they've got these challenges. They'll go at each other in groups, and the winning group will get to benefit and enjoy very great prizes. Why is this important to us at Absa? Education and skills, particularly under the Absa Kenya Foundation. Education and skills is one of our core pillars, and these skills around technology, and when you then take the other lens of enhancing diversity and inclusion, if you look at the technology field, it's been male dominated, and we thought that creating this platform for young women to participate in such an exercise would give them just that encouragement to keep going.
Meanwhile, Elisha Odhiambo MP game by Philip Odhiambo, Treasury hailed for introducing measures to ensure prompt payment of county contractors. Game members of Parliament, Elisha Odhiambo has hailed the National Treasury for introducing tough measures that will ensure contractors working for county government get a prompt payment immediately they complete their tasks.
According to the legislature, Elisha Odhiambo, the introduction of a system linking committed local purchase orders, LPOs, to the Office of the Control of Budget and the National Treasury will see the pending bills become a thing of the past. Speaking to the media after meeting Church of Christ in Africa members at Ramula in East Game location in Siaya County, Odhiambo lamented that for years, contractors doing business with the county governments have been made to wait for payment for years after money meant to clear their dues are channeled to unbudgeted activities.
So going forward, I believe this is an initiative of President William Ruto, so that people doing business in counties are paid in time and their money has not transferred to other corrupt entities, so that the ordinary Kenyan can feel the import of government as they do business with government. So for me, I think I want to congratulate Mbadi and congratulate President William Ruto for this initiative to ensure that LPOs are issued, LPOs are linked to COB, and they are linked to Treasury, so that funding is done appropriate entities. So when you do business now, you get an LPO, it is linked up to COB. So when the country requests for money, automatically you are the one who is paid. So that the ordinary Kenyan can feel the import of government.
Meanwhile, the legislature has called on the government to ensure that all affordable housing projects are fixed with solar panels. Odhiambo said there is need for the country to adopt green energy like the rest of the globe. He called on Kenyans to learn to appreciate its leaders who perform well in their dockets and named the Energy Cabinet Secretary Opiyo Wandayi and Head of National Intelligence Service Nurdin Haji for ensuring fair distribution of electricity and ensuring that the country is safe, respectively.
The affordable housing program done by President William Ruto, we should consider having solar plants in the roofs so that we, as a country, we go green. We live up to the expectation of the world. Finally, the last Nobel Prize goes to Haji for making sure our country is safe. So give Nobel Prize to Wandayi for ensuring that the whole country is moving together in access to electricity so that everybody can have, their household can have power.
Matthew Perez for GBS News.
In Siaya, teachers are demanding integrity and professionalism in the supervision of the national examination. While in Kirinyaga, the county government is cracking down on illegal structures built on drainage system to curb the flooding ahead of the rains. Here are the details.
In Siaya County, the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers, KUPPET, has urged the government to ensure that only upright and professional officials are deployed to oversee this year's national examinations. The union branch executive secretary Sam Opondo and chairman Robert Ouko condemned last year's incidents where some supervisors allegedly harassed students during excessive security checks, even engaging in indecent contact and verbal abuse.
Last year in this county, we witnessed human rights violations. Human rights violations during the KCSE exams, and this was done by external monitors who were sent to Siaya County to monitor the examinations. Some of them in flagrant disregard to the rules and regulations of the Kenya National Examination Council.
I want to take this opportunity to wish all the candidates in Siaya County, those who are going to take KCSE, those who are going to take KJSEA, and other examination in the whole of this county, all the best as they take their examinations. As been said, let the management of the exam be a smooth management and a management that will not scare our learners in taking that exam properly. KUPPET power. Asanteni sana.
We are very integral in the implementation of the CBE, and we call upon the government not to serve any other person's interest, but the interest of the learner that is currently under siege because of the poor administration and management of those JS school teachers. Decisive action at this stage will not only safeguard the professional interest of junior teachers, but also strengthen the position of the Ministry of Education as a central stakeholder in shaping educational policy for the benefit of learners, teachers, and the nation at large.
Elsewhere, in Kirinyaga County, the government has launched a major operation to demolish illegal structures built in drainage systems, a move aimed at preventing floods ahead of the expected rains. The exercise, which began in Kagio town, involves county enforcement officers, police and business leaders, following a 2-week notice period where most traders complied with the directive to vacate the affected areas. County CAC for Environment James Mutugi emphasized that blocked drains have been the main cause of recurring floods and warned property owners against connecting sewage lines to stormwater systems, adding that similar cleanup drives will be extended to all major towns.
We are here today on an exercise to make sure that we clear our drainage system in preparedness for the rain season. Mostly in this town particularly, during the rains we experience a lot of floods. And as you can see, most of the structures have been on the drainage system. We are also putting on notice the land and the plot owners to avoid streaming wastewater into the drainage system. This is because the drainage system is meant for stormwater, not for wastewater. People should contain their wastewater and exhaust it through other means, but not draining it directly into the drainage system. Of course, when there are structures on top of the drainage system, it will become difficult to clear, much as we would want to clear. So we want, and we have given enough notice to the owners, and we asked them for the last 2 weeks to make sure that they remove, so that we are able to clear the drainages in prevention for the plants that are anticipated during the rains.
From Siaya's call for integrity in exam supervision to Kirinyaga's effort to clean its waterways before the rains, the message across counties is clear. Accountability, discipline, and preparedness remain vital in shaping a safer, fairer Kenya. Reporting for GBS TV, I'm Paul M. Mine.
After the stories from the counties, we'll take a short break, but we'll be right back with more stories. Stay tuned.
Hi kids! Welcome to Kids Mind, where we learn, we laugh, and we explore. So kids, are you ready to listen to our today's Bible story? Are you ready to listen?
You're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands.
Samson was a mighty man, a mighty man was he. Samson was a mighty man, a mighty man was he. Samson was a mighty man, a mighty man was he. Between a want or a need, which one is more wise?
A student can transition from other curriculums, such as the Kenyan CBC curriculum, the Pearson EdExcel curriculum, and the IB curriculum, to the Cambridge curriculum.
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back, and thank you for keeping it locked here on GBS News at 9. 4 months from now, the East African nation of Uganda will be holding its national election. Though the election in Uganda have attracted top criticism in previous years, many saying the victories of Museveni were fueled with electoral malpractices. Now, 81-year-old, third longest serving president in the world, who is also Uganda's 9th head of state, will face off Bobi Wine, a pop star who turned politician, securing 35% of the votes in the last election in 2021. Our very own reporter, Perez Matthew, has more on that story.
The political temperatures in Uganda are in high stakes. It is a two-horse race. In September, 2 candidates were cleared to vie for the top seat, they being NRM's party leader Yoweri Kaguta Museveni and NUP's Bobi Wine. Speaking in a rally in Pakwach in the northern part of Uganda, Museveni said he is committed to end poverty, pledging to release funds to religious organizations and the youth, saying he is leaving no one behind.
I also want to create a fund for the religious people here, the leaders, according to their parishes or Muslim districts or according to their structure. But with wealth creation, I don't want players and spectators. everybody must be in the field playing. Now, I also want to start a fund for university graduates.
His counterpart Bobby Wine was in the central region of Uganda in Mubende selling his manifesto to his supporters who had turned out in large numbers. This happens as long as serving Uganda's opposition leader Dr. Kizza Besigye of age 61 remains in jail in Kampala on treason charges after being seized in the neighboring country Kenya in November last year, though he has remained defiant, insisting that the accusations leveled against him are false. Perez Matthew for GBS News.
The political atmosphere is heating up in Tanzania as President Samia Suluhu Hassan takes on the role of a Lone Ranger campaigner, steering her ruling party's agenda across the region. Her strong solo campaign presence comes at a time when her main political rival, Tundu Lissu, is entangled in a series of court battles that threatens to derail his political momentum to get Suluhu out of office in the forthcoming elections.
President Samia Suluhu has intensified her outrage and political mobilization, drawing large crowds in Tanzania, where she is campaigning to be elected in office for the second time.
Hello. Hello vijana, hello. Hello kina mama, hello. Hello kina baba, hello. Hello Manyara, hello. Na washukuru wanababati, mmenipokea vizuri sana na mnaniaga kwa bashasha kubwa sana, na washukuru sana.
Analysts describe Suluhu as a Lone Ranger campaigner, a leader who was chosen personally to engage communities bypassing traditional political surrogates.
Mheshimiwa Rais, chama kile kwa sasa ni chama cha fujo. Viongozi wake wamekuwa na maslahi binafsi. Hasa ukisema sema moja, kama kitu kinasema moja, wao ni lazima wabisha waseme ni mbili. Kwa hiyo wamekuwa wapinzani hata kwa maendeleo ya taifa hili.
Her message focused on unity, women empowerment and economic self-reliance, themes that have become her trademark since she assumed office.
Ukitizama ilani yetu hii ambayo tunainadi sasa hivi ya 25-30 kifungu cha 2.3, ilani ile inasema na inatuelekeza kitupa ridhaa, serikali itakayoundwa na Chama cha Mapinduzi iboreshe maisha ya watu na ustawi wa jamii. Ina maana inatuelekeza tuendelee kufanya kazi kwa kasi kubwa kwenye sekta hizi za maendeleo ya jamii.
Meanwhile, the opposition figure Tundu Lissu faces mounting legal challenges. He is battling multiple court cases linked to what authorities describe as act of undermining national stability, accusation his supporters dismiss as politically motivated.
Kukosoa serikali sio kosa. Kumkosoa Rais Samia sio kosa. Kama hataki kukosolewa, aache kazi za kuongoza nchi yetu, akae nyumbani kwake. Mtu akienda kumkosoa, huyo atakuwa anamchokoza, atamshtaki mahakamani. Vitendo vya kuendelea kuteka watu kwa sababu wanaikosoa serikali, kwa sababu wanakosoa mwenendo wa serikali na wanamkosoa rais, havikubaliki na hatutavikubali, na iko siku watajibu, hata wakiwa wazee. Hata waliojiwekea kinga, tutaziondoa hizo kinga, watatakiwa kuja kutueleza nani amemchukua Polepole.
The legal woes have left Lissu's campaign machinery struggling to stay afloat, giving Suluhu an upper hand in controlling the regional narrative. Political observers say Suluhu's bold and independent approach, often without heavy reliance on party structures, signals a shift in the East African political styles, where personal credibility and visibility increasingly shapes leadership appeal.
Tunaenda na mama kwa sababu mimi natoka kwenye kata Sunya, mama katuingizia bilioni 70 kwa sababu ya daraja wilaya Kiteto Sunya. Kata Sunya tumepata daraja la Mama Samia la thamani ya milioni 700. Bado na shule shikizi zimejengwa kwa sababu ya Mama Samia. Lazima tuende naye msimu wa 2025 kwenda 2030.
Tunaendelea kumchagua Rais Samia kwa sababu ametufanyia mambo makubwa, maendeleo, tuletea maendeleo katika mitaa, kata. Tuna sababu za kumchagua, kwa kumpa kura kwa wingi za kishindo mpaka zinamwagika.
As Samia Suluhu continues to dominate the campaign trail and Tundu Lissu fights his battles in court, the unfolding drama underscores the evolving face of the East African politics, one defined by resilience, personality and power placed beyond borders.
Hello vijana, hello kina mama, hello kina baba, hello Manyara, hello.
Davis Karani for GBS News.
6 South African activists detained by Israeli forces during a Gaza aid flotilla said they were deliberately targeted, stripped, humiliated and treated more harshly than others because of South Africa's genocide case against Israel at the International Court of Justice. Now, back home, they are speaking out about what they endured and why they believe their nationality made them a target. Here is more on the same.
6 South Africans activists have returned home after being detained by Israeli forces while attempting to deliver aid to Gaza as part of the global Sumid flotilla. Among 450 international participants, they say they were singled out and subjected to harsher treatment simply because they were South Africans.
We were handcuffed with cable ties, tied tightly behind our backs, taken off our boats and put on the platform, paraded for all the Israelis and the allies in Europe and the West and the global community to see.
We had rifles pointed at our foreheads, backed against the room to take out forcibly 2 of our comrades to solitary confinement. We are a direct, non-violent movement. We were 10 or 12 women, I cannot remember, in the cell, yet they responded to us with this type of brutal violence. They were obviously given instructions not to harm us, but they used every means of humiliation.
Fatima Hendricks and Zahira Suma described being forcibly stripped of their hijabs and naked in front of Israeli soldiers, a violation they say was not inflicted on other Muslim women.
There were other aspects of differentiation though. For example, Fatima and myself both were our hijab was forcibly removed off our head when other Muslim women their hijabs were not removed off their head. Both of us were forced behind a screen, pushed against a wall, our heads pushed against a wall and completely stripped naked in front of IOF soldiers. This did not happen to other women.
Mandla Mandela, also part of the mission, believes their treatment was retaliation for South Africa's genocide case against Israel at the International Court of Justice. He called it punishment for a nation that dared to challenge what he described as apartheid policies.
Many of our comrades were offered opportunity to shower. They ensured that the South African delegation was denied this. But we understood very well why that is so. Because we are a nation that dared through our government to take apartheid Israel to the International Court of Justice.
We are the ones who took Israel to the ICJ and ICC, so there is a bit of anger about that. And we don't have an embassy in Israel. We have our embassies in Ramallah in Palestine. So our consular officials tried to come to us. They tried to come to us even from Thursday, and they were not allowed. And then when they finally saw us, it was Sunday. and on Sunday they were only really allowed like 2 minutes, and they say time up, and then we said no.
Israel's foreign minister denies any mistreatment, but the activist stories raise troubling questions about the cost of speaking out and the power of global solidarity in the face of injustice. Elvis Muyodi, GBS News.
After that story, we'll take a quick break, but we'll be right back with more stories making headlines.
Could you excuse me, please? Oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me, miss. Didn't see you there. Pardon us, miss.
Watch out, big thing coming your way.
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back as we continue to unfold more stories. A Nigerian correction officer serving under the United Nations mission in the Democratic Republic of the Congo has been recognized with a prestigious international award. Olukemi Ibinkule has been named the winner of the 3rd United Nations Trailblazer Award for the Women Justice and Correction Officer, marking another proud moment for Nigeria on the global stage.
As proof that women have a voice. Representation matters. It matters for the effective showing them true example that it can be done. This is why I urge member states to nominate and deploy more women to justice and corrections roles in peace operations. Representation matters. It matters for the effectiveness of our missions, and it also matters for the message it sends to communities around the world that women belong at the heart of peace.
In a strong show of unity, regional and international partners have issued a powerful call for an immediate cessation of the hostilities between forces aligned with the parties to the peace agreement in South Sudan. The appeal comes during a high-level forum convened to address the country's worsening political and security situation. Davis Karani now reports.
At a time when tension continues to escalate in parts of South Sudan, regional and international stakeholders have voiced deep concerns over renewed clashes that threatens to derail the fragile peace process.
Permanent ceasefire is continually and repeatedly violated by signatory parties. Across many parts of the country, SPLM, AIO, and SSPDF forces have consistently attacked each other and their allied forces, leading to the death of civilians, the destruction of villages, and internal displacement.
During a forum focused on assessing the implementation of the 2018 Revitalized Peace Agreement, delegates from the African Union, the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, also abbreviated as IGAD, the United Nations, and the other development partners urged all parties to halt fighting and prioritize dialogue.
There is no doubt, therefore, that the axis is facing its greatest challenge since its signing. If the current challenges are not urgently addressed, there is a high risk of reversal of all the gains already made, and it may lead to a collapse of the agreement altogether.
In our analysis, the challenges facing the R-axis are man-made, fundamentally political, and only resolvable through inclusive dialogue.
Speakers understood that continued hostilities not only undermined the gains made since the signing of the peace accord, but also worsened the humanitarian crisis, displacing thousands of civilians and disrupting aid delivery.
We are monitoring the situation of funding, and we are developing a fallback position. It is not the time to divulge, but because we intend to take the country for election, we are actively engaging among ourselves to ensure that we have a fallback position that will be smooth and trouble-free so that we can take the country for election.
The partners called on South Sudan's leaders to demonstrate political will, uphold their commitment under the peace deal, and ensure the protection of civilians across all regions.
The agreement has been on its knees, but it can be rescued, Honorable Chair. The rescue of the agreement should be through a dialogue. And this, actually, I would like to bring it to the attention of all the parties that we all need to rethink, and we need to all go and sit on the table, and we should dialogue so that we can rescue this agreement and South Sudan in general.
The forum concluded with a unified message as peace in South Sudan remains within reach, but only all actors choose dialogue over division and unity over violence. Davis Karani for GBS News, South Sudan.
A glimmer of hope in the Gaza war as President Donald Trump announces a ceasefire and a hostage deal that could see Israel captives freed as early as Saturday. Israel is expected to begin a partial troop withdrawal within 24 hours of signing the agreement, even as airstrike continues in Gaza overnight. Here are the details.
I was just dealing with people from the Middle East, Arab people and other people on the potential peace deal for the Middle East. Peace for the Middle East, it's a beautiful phrase, and we hope it's going to come true, but it's very close, and they're doing very well.
Then, in a post on his social media platform, Donald Trump confirmed the header deal, writing, "I am very proud to announce that Israel and Hamas have both signed off on the first phase of our peace plan. This means that all of the hostages will be released very soon, and Israel will withdraw its troops to an agreed upon lines as the first step toward strong, durable, and everlasting peace. All parties will be treated fairly. This is a great day for the Arab and Muslim world, Israel, and all surrounding nations, and the United States of America. We also thank the mediators from Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey who worked with us to make this historic and unprecedented event happen. Blessed are the peacemakers." The news was greeted with celebration in Gaza. The hopes that after more than 2 years, the bombings, the attacks, the continuing unrelenting pain of death may be about to end.
These are
the moments that are considered historic, long awaited by Palestinian citizens after 2 years of killing and genocide that was committed with arrogance. The joy we saw a short time ago in the street is relief from the massacres, killings, and genocide.
Thank God. Today President Trump announced that the war stopped. We are very happy. This is something joyful for us, and we thank our brothers and anyone who contributed, even if verbally, to stop this war and to stop the bloodshed.
Israeli relatives of those being held captive in Gaza were in D.C. to ask the president to secure their freedom. They posted their thanks.
Yesterday, we gathered here in the Sukkah of Hope with the Trump administration. And today, President Trump has done it. He announced just now that our loved ones, the hostages, are coming home. We will not stop fighting until we see the last of the 48 return to their family, those who were murdered in captivity, buried in the land of Israel, those who are still alive, walking through the border and reuniting with us, the families.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu posted the approval of the first phase of the plan. All our hostages will be brought home. This is the diplomatic success and a national and moral victory of the State of Israel. From the beginning, I made it clear we will not rest until all our hostages return and all our goals are achieved. Through steadfast resolve, powerful military action, and the great efforts of our great friend and ally President Trump, we have reached this critical turning point. I thank President Trump for his leadership, his partnership, and his unwavering commitment to the safety of Israel and freedom of our hostages. Donald Trump revealed his 20-point plan for his peace in the Middle East, including a ceasefire in Gaza, during a meeting with Benjamin Netanyahu at the White House last month. Hamas and Israel indicated a willingness to move forward, but several important sticking points had to be negotiated, including how far and how fast Israel will move out of Gaza and the release of Palestinian prisoners. One observer says Israel must follow through on promises and commitment made.
That seems to be the rallying cry for Israel to maintain international sympathy, that they have to do what they allegedly have to massacre Palestinians as part of an effort to get the hostages back. If you give up the hostages, Israel doesn't have that excuse anymore. But in material terms, for people who know that this was never Israel's primary concern, that the primary concern is an effort to eliminate Palestinian existence between the river and the sea, that project is very much going to remain in the hands of Netanyahu and potentially ongoing.
Reporting for GBS TV, I'm Paul M.
Indeed, blessed are the peacemakers. And now it's time for your most favorite part of the segment. Let's get sporty. In a thrilling World Cup qualifier, Saudi Arabia came from behind to beat Indonesia 3-2. The hosts took early lead, but Saudi strikers Firas Al-Burkinei scored twice to help seal a dramatic comeback. The win boosts Saudi Arabia's position in the standings, while Indonesia faces a tougher road ahead. Let's hear more from our reporter.
The match started with energy as Indonesia stuck early to take 1-0 lead. Sending the fans into a frenzy, they continued to press, and by halftime, Indonesia looked confident and composed. But the second half told a different story. Saudi Arabia came out strong, regrouped, and turned up the pressure. Striker Firas took center stage, scoring twice to level and then overturn the game. His first goal came from a solo effort, while his second showed class and composure in front of the goal. Indonesia tried to respond, but a late winner from Saudi Arabia sealed 3-2 comeback. Despite a spirited effort from the home side, they couldn't hold off the visitors. The victory gives Saudi Arabia 3 crucial points in their World Cup campaign, while Indonesia now faces a tougher path to qualification. Acheng Sylvia, GBS TV.
With the ongoing Women's Champions League showcasing Europe's top talent, Real Madrid women lit up the pitch with a dazzling display against Italian side AS Roma. The Spanish side wasted no time asserting their dominance, launching wave after wave of relentless attack. Their sharp passing, quick transition and clinical finishing left Roma struggling to respond.
Real Madrid kept their foot on the gas throughout the match, finding the back of the net at least 6 times in a commanding display. The home crowd erupted as its goal further cemented Madrid control, with their midfield dictating the tempo and defense closing down the threat from Roma. Despite conceding twice, the Spanish side remained composed, showing depth and balance across the pitch. On the other side, Roma struggled to gain foothold in the game as Madrid intensity never let up even in the final minute. With this resounding win, Real Madrid sent a clear message to the rest of Europe. They are serious contenders this season. It was not just a victory, it was a warning shot to any team standing in their way. Madrid are here to conquer.
Charity Mainab reporting.
And with that, we have come to the end of the news bulletin. It's always a pleasure having you on board. Let's do this again next time, same channel. My name is Ibrahim Said, and our sign language interpreter tonight has been Alan Kiama. We live after an African proverb, rather a psychological one. It says that when mind is weak, situation becomes a problem. When the mind is balanced, the situation becomes a challenge. And when the mind is strong, that situation becomes an opportunity. And at the end of the day, it's all a mind game. Have a good night.
Everywhere, GBS.